So, hello there everyone and welcome, it is Nirin here, and today it is time for another episode of our Wimbledon Career Mode here, the FIFA 18 Road to Glory. Now I do apologise, it's been a little bit of time since the last episode. I know I'm not going to get into a habit of doing that, don't worry. I want to be back to normal because I'm flipping loving this series and I know you guys are as well. Thank you ever so much for the support on this series so far. It means a lot when you guys are actually really getting involved. It's really cool to see. Now there's a lot hopefully going to be kicking off in today's episode because as you'll know, we are in the transfer window. We're relying heavily on a sale in order to be able to do something. We've got 21 days, that's 3 weeks. Now in terms of the game time in this one, I'll be hoping to do certainly 2 played games. We might get 3 depending on how much we can do transfer wise. MK Dons though, we will of course 100% be playing the most incredible derby in English football in my opinion, being Wimbledon versus MK Dons. Bundy MK Dons, we're going to smack them up again hopefully in that game. We beat them earlier on in the season and hopefully we can do even bigger and better things against them in that one. Got Blackpool, who served as our first defeat of the season. We're playing them at home, and then Bradford away. But the main thing hopefully will obviously be that MK Dons game, but also trying to get some transfer activity done if we can sell George Frankham. First of all though, your player of the episode from last time was this man here, Dean Parrott, who had an unbelievable episode in that one, scoring 2 goals in the first game of the episode and providing assist in that vital game against Manchester City where we provided an incredible giant killing in the FA Cup 3rd round. So Dean Parrott deservingly wins player of the episode for this time, only the second player to win the award obviously. And continuing with the theme of Dean Parrott, we're also going to be offering him a new contract at the start of this episode. Now in terms of wages, he is on £2,300, so we're just going to offer the exact same. I'm happy with that signing bonus, but if we then remove the appearance bonus and submit that, he seems, yeah, he's happy with that. Okay, I think that's a bit better. I think the wages is, I was expecting them to stay the same. I'd rather not spend an extra 30k on bonuses. And finally, we've got Lyle Taylor, the second of 2 players that need their contracts renewing. In terms of wages, he wants 3,100 and those signing bonuses as well. Okay, that is a pay rise. That's a pay rise by what, £400? We're going to counter it a little bit. I know he's not going to get that goals bonus, but for some reason, even though he hasn't got it yet, it doesn't take it out of our, it takes it out of our budget. Even though he hasn't actually got that goals bonus yet, it takes it out of our budget, so we basically lose the money even though he hasn't got that tally yet. I'm going to remove the bonus, but I'm relatively happy with everything else, I think, so we'll submit that as an offer. Hopefully he's okay with that. Now he wants more in terms of wages. Okay, we'll negotiate that too. Okay, they're happy to meet in the middle, bunny. That's okay, we'll do that. At least they're negotiating this time. We'll accept that, 3,300. So Lyle Taylor and Dean Parrott now tied down to contracts. We can't lose them for free during this transfer window, which was a big worry of mine. Now though, this is it. MK Dons looking for redemption and looking for revenge after we beat them earlier on in the season at home at Plough Lane, the spiritual home of Wimbledon. Now we travel to the Stadium MK and they'll be hoping to beat us in this one, but we will not be allowing that to happen, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be going in with our strongest possible side. Dean Parrott obviously starts because he was player of the episode last time. A very strong defence. Both our main wingers, both of our main attackers. Huge derby, huge fixture. Let's get going. In my opinion then, one of the maddest derbies in English football, quite frankly. MK Dons versus Wimbledon, and it's 2nd versus 4th in the league. This is not just a huge game for the fans, for the clubs themselves, and for the rivalry. This is actually a big deal when it comes to the league as well. Oh, coming in with the big challengers already there, Dean Parrott. The fans will like that one. Parrott comes charging in. Oh my word, what a challenge that was from Dean Parrott. I want to see a little bit more fight from some of the players in the side. That was a good interception from Da Silva Lopez. So we'll go out wide here to Da Silva. Nice cut back from him. Still Leonardo Da Silva Lopez. He goes for the curling effort and it's just wide of the post. Down the line here from MK Dons. That finds Marcus Tavernier. Man on loan from Middlesbrough. He's gone past Dean Parrott there and now he's gone past Darius Charles. It's cut back here for Aneke. Back out wide to Williams. Block there from Darius Charles. We are going to have to watch out for Marcus Tavernier. Obviously, he'll have grown a bit by now. He's a very high potential player as the ball comes into the box and it was onto the feet of Tavernier. But he puts the ball over the bar. This now is Dozzell. Pass blocked, but Taylor gets there. Now Azoro back now into Andre. Dozzell with the shot. Simple save from Nichols. Should have just blasted that one. It's for Dean Parrott, who can strike it from range, but he strikes it straight into an MK Dons defender, unfortunately. Probably will be the last action of the game, especially with Tamori winning that in the air. Dozzell, though, finds Forrester. Maybe one last chance in this half. Now Harry Forrester cutting back. Still Harry Forrester into the area towards Dozzell! Andre Dozzell gives us the lead right at the end of the half. With his head of all things, we take the lead in this crucial derby game against the MK Dons. It's a huge fixture, but it's not one that's provided much energy or chances whatsoever so far. The defenders, preoccupied with Azoro and Taylor, left Dozzell completely unmarked. And the man on loan from Ipswich grabs yet another goal in this series. MK Dons will be furious. The referee should have blown for half time. As soon as they cleared our last chance away, he gave us some extra time. The MK Dons manager, the fans, will be claiming controversy if that is the reason for their defeat. Now we just got to try and hold on. Just try and survive. Easier said than done. We have been shocking, quite frankly, at keeping leads in this series so far. Forrester down the line here to Dozzell. Lyle Taylor through to Dozzell. What a pass that was from Lyle Taylor. Still Andre Dozzell. He grabs his second of the game. And a beautiful little assist there from Lyle Taylor. Dozzell gets the brace. Beautiful. It's such a blasé back heel from Lyle Taylor. He's just like, yeah, go on then, just run through on goal, whatever floats your boat, my lad. That's 3 goals in 3 games now, I think, for him, because obviously he scored against City in that FA Cup tie as well. MK Dons give the ball away again. They're definitely feeling the pressure here in this one. It's what we like to see. The scum not quite performing as they should. Here's Parrott, this is Dozzell, who's actually looking for his hat-trick now. That's the turn, though, from Lyle Taylor! Oh, my word. That was so close. Don't want to give MK Dons any sort of route back into this game or any sort of confidence, really, but here's Cisse. That's through to Aneke, and a beautiful save from George Long to deny that goal. That would have put MK Dons back in the game there as well, so very vital save. Toko, that's Lyle Taylor. Lorenzo Visser's running here down this right-hand side. And he's got some space if he picks out the right man. He might not need to. Lorenzo Visser trying to become the youngest player in the series to score. But he's denied there by Nichols. Good confidence from the Dutchman. He had some support, but he was like, you know what, nah, bun it, I'm going myself. Lorenzo Visser this time might look for a teammate. He does. Into the box towards Abdu. Was the wrong option. That was far too close to the goalkeeper. But it does not matter because we've got another crucial win against another title or at least promotion contender. That is so sweet to be beating MK Dons once again. That is for you, Wimbledon fans. I hope you enjoyed that victory. The man of the match, I mean, it's no surprise, really. Andre Dozzell was, he was incredible. Even without getting the 2 goals, probably was a pretty decent contender for that man of the match. Same for Lyle Taylor, actually. Harry Forrester as well, grabbing a 9 rating, and Dean Parrott with an 8.5. So it's more training once again. Yet again, we've got 5 slots and 5 different players being trained, and Zuzi Toko, once again, just trying to boost that overall so he can be in the team for as long as possible. Lorenzo Visser, Morgan Shaw, young players, youth academy players, Anthony Hartigan, the same, just trying to get them up on specific stats. And John Lazoro, we're actually trying to train some stamina into him, because himself and Leonardo da Silva Lopez really struggle on that one. So this is the email we were waiting for. A bid has been made for George Frankham from Bolton Wanderers, sorry. The bid is 500k, $500,000. I believe that matches his valuation. So into the office then with the Bolton Wanderers manager, and let's get ready to do a little bit of negotiating here for George Frankham. Going to propose a new transfer fee. It's literally just going to be 600k. That is the extent of the negotiating we're putting on the table. We're going to skip forward, and he is absolutely fine with that. So we're just squeezing an extra 100k out of this bid as well. So whilst we're waiting then for word back on the George Frankham saga, we might as well get into some game time. The next game is going to be a simmed one, however, at home, sorry, I was about to say away from home. Blackpool are the away side, can't underestimate them, especially given they actually beat us in the reverse fixture fixture, handing out our first league loss of the season in this series. However, Lyle Taylor has got us off to the best possible start with a goal in the first 7 minutes of the game. Andre Dozzella scored once again to make it 3 goals in 2. He grabs another goal, we double our lead, and we win the game 2-0, grabbing yet another 3 points in the league. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. A player who was so great coming off the bench, but always found it kind of difficult to make an impact from the start of a game. He's worth quite a decent amount of money, so we've decided to sell him. George Frankham is off on his way to Bolton Wanderers, and we have gained 400k and of course his wages. I think that's a really good bit of business now, because we can actually get in a second scout, do some youth scouting, and actually build up the depth now of this side. And we can also now bring in a player on loan to replace George Frankham, because we're now even less depth-wise, and hopefully either bring in someone permanently with a transfer fee, or more likely bring in someone else on a pre-contract agreement. So we've done a little bit of budget adjusting, and you can see we've now got 325,000 in terms of a transfer budget and 14k in terms of wages. Now, I realise some of you might be like, go out and buy a player. Go out and buy someone for like 500k. I just feel like we need to be more savvy with our money rather than just going out and buying someone for 500k. Like, that's not going to help us. Okay, we'll get one player who's as good as George Frankham, but we need really more like 2 players who are better than George Frankham, and I feel we can do that with a pre-contract agreement signing and potentially a player coming in on loan. The first thing, however, though, I'm going to do is we're going to dip now into the youth staff, because people have been asking me to do this for ages. Finally, we have the money now. We're going to bring in a second scout by the name of Pekko here from Finland. I can't pronounce his second name, so if there's any Finnish viewers watching, please let me know. We have been priced out of / rejected by every loan offer or loan target you could possibly think of in terms of wingers, to the point where we've now been left with no Premier League wingers we can afford to bring in because their wages are so high. No Championship wingers because the Championship clubs just don't want to loan them out even if they never play them whatsoever. To the point where we're now at Ryan Brewster, who he's a striker. He isn't even a winger. 50-50 would actually only be £4,450. That's actually not even that much. Jurgen Klopp, the manager of the team I support, wants us to pay 60-40. So what we're going to do is we're going to meet in the middle and we're going to go 55. That's actually a lot less than I was expecting to spend on a lone winger. Obviously, we've just now got to wait and pray that Ryan Brewster is actually okay with that move. And the second thing we're going to do is what I think could prove to be quite a cool little bit of business. Rory McKenzie is a 67 rated winger from Kilmarnock. He can also play as an attacking mid and a centre mid. His contract is expiring at the end of this season, so we can approach to sign him for nothing, and his wages are only 4k. His potential to grow is about 72 or 73, so we might actually be able to bring in a new winger who we will actually play quite a lot for free if we get promoted to the Championship. Finally, the wages. Oh man, this is a difficult one. So we're going to counter that. We're straight away going to remove that bonus because they usually don't tend to care about that too much if you bump up the wages. We'll submit that and see what he says about that. He's actually okay. He's actually okay with that. What I was going to do was I was actually just going to bump the wages back up, but he was absolutely fine with that in the first place, so that is cool. That is a pre-contract agreement signing done. Rory McKenzie is now theoretically a Wimbledon player, although he isn't yet, so we're arriving at the squad training ground at the end of the season. So as you can see, here he is still appearing in that Kilmarnock kit, because technically he is still playing for the Scottish Premiership side or Scottish Premier League side. Pretty young as well, so he will grow by 4 or 5 points even after we buy him. 3-star weak foot, 3-star skill moves. Pretty small, but as you can see, very pacey and very decent agility too. Good balance, jumping. One thing lacking is his strength. You don't necessarily need that as a winger, but if we're going to play him as a centre mid, that would obviously ideally be a little bit higher, but very pacey, very agile, and hopefully a player that we've now brought in for free that we can utilise in the Championship and that we'll get quite a lot out of. So that's our second proper signing then of the January transfer window. Ryan Brewster's a nonce, pass it on. Ryan, mate, I don't know why you've rejected the legendary Wimbledon when you're not going to get any game time at Liverpool, but, you know, whatever. Alright, so it's scattergun time. Basically, we're about to go in, hopefully, for at least 2 or more wingers right now. The first of which It's going to be Dujon Sterling. We've actually met up with Conte before. I can't remember whether I actually included it in the episode. That would supposedly leave us with 1,100 after if we were to do a 60-40 split, but I'm going to try and make a 50-50 happen. Antonio Conte is happy to do 50-50, so now it's just about Dujon Sterling wanting to join. I'm trying to work out whether this game actually understands the meaning of recently. Like, this is genuinely the case with so many players. There's so many guys we could have loaned in by now in terms of wingers. This is why it's so difficult. Josh Meyer has genuinely been playing for Sunderland since they were in the Premier League. What is it talking about? They've only just acquired him. They haven't. They've had him for like 2 or 3 years. You know what? I'm done. I'm literally done. Okay, I'm done. Forget the winger. I don't care. We're not going to bring in a winger, okay? Because I'm honestly on the verge of a mental breakdown in how difficult. I've literally spent half an hour trying to find one winger we can bring in, and they've all supposedly just signed for the team they're playing for, even though they've played for that team for about 3 or 4 years, or they just for some reason don't want to go on loan. We're going to go and buy someone who's really cheap, who I've been asked to sign loads of times. It's sort of a half and half signing, because it's one that we don't really need to make, but equally one that is quite savvy and again kind of cool. Like, it could provide quite a cool storyline to the series. And this is Aaron Bolger. I don't know if it's been the same person commenting this, but I've seen his name in literally every single video, and it's always pretty well represented. It always has a pretty decent amount of likes. He's got a potential of 78 overall, so he's going to grow by 20, and if we train him, he might actually be worth, you know, he might actually be decent for the transfer window. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully, he might even be able to outgrow that. We might even just be able to sell him on. We could actually offer Tom Saws and actually keep even more money. They want 67k as well. Let's propose a new transfer fee, and we'll drop it down to like 30k. I'm not this stingy, okay? 37, whatever. We'll accept that. So that's 31-year-old Tom Saws, who've been trying to sell all series. 61 rated for 58 rated, but 17-year-old Aaron Bolger, who's got a potential of 78. How on earth is a 17-year-old, okay, demanding a 1-year contract? All right, his wages currently is 660. He's gonna want a rise, so we'll give him 1k. I think that's fair. Yep, he's happy with that. So Aaron Bolger then becomes our, third signing then of this transfer window. They've all been pretty small, but they've all been very savvy. Roy Carroll for free. 67 rated goalkeeper for free. That's pretty impressive. 67 rated winger who can grow to 72 for free. That's pretty impressive. And now Aaron Bolger for basically nothing, let's be honest. It was 37k we've just bought him for from the Irish League, who can grow to 78 rated. And with Aaron Bolger as well, I'm getting little airs of Seamus Coleman. Remember when Everton bought him for like 20k from the Irish League? I feel like we could have a similar story on our hands there. And because we've literally just bought everybody for practically nothing, we could probably bring in another pre-contract agreement player after our next game of the episode and still have enough money for youth scouting. So here is your newest recruit, Aaron Bolger, who joins from Shamrock Rovers for 37k and Tom Saws. You can see his attributes there. 84 balance for a 58 rated player is very, very good. 65 agility, decent pace as well. 64 long pass and 67 short pass. This guy's going to play a lot better than a 58 rated player. I'm just saying that now, straight away. But now it is time for final action, really, of today's episode, I feel, and the final game, certainly, of it, as we face Burton Albion away at the Pirelli Stadium, I believe it's still called, in the FA Cup. I want to say this is the next round after beating Man City. It's a cup game, but in terms of debuts, a very important game because Roy Carroll is in between the sticks. First game, we won't see George Long in goal for us, and Aaron Bolger, our new signing in from Ireland, is also starting alongside Dean Parrott, so a good opportunity to see him in the starting 11. We'll be looking to get a good start straight away. Bolger there with a nice completed pass into De Silva Lopez, who turns. Lovely burst of acceleration from him. Lovely cutback, and now into Lyle Taylor with a shot. Deflected wide though off Turner. Just a casual 23-year difference between our two debutantes in this one. Needs some support really, and he gets it with the overlapping run from De Silva Lopez, who cuts back into the back post there for Lorenzo Visser, who was just about to volley that, but it's taken off his feet. Brayford now. Got company there from De Silva Lopez and Tamori into the front post there. Good save from Carroll, but unfortunately the rebound is in from Boyce. I mean, it's a bit disappointing that we haven't won the second header, but Carroll didn't really do a good job of parrying it clear. I want to see the replay, see if he could have actually caught it. It was a great ball in. I don't think the winger should have got past Tamori that easily. Yeah, he's not done a good job of parrying that, really. Yellow card there for a Burton midfielder after a challenge on Aaron Bolger, who, in fairness, has given the ball away a couple of times, but he's been solid enough. He's put the ball here into Lorenzo Visser, who's gone for the long shot. Oh, what a save. Lorenzo Visser, the Youth Academy Scout future star, almost picks out an absolute stunner. Right, come on, we need a response then. We need a reaction, and we're going to try and find it here with Leonardo da Silva Lopez. Bursting through to Lyle Taylor. Great ball from da Silva Lopez, that, and it's a clinical finish from Lyle Taylor there as well. Great stuff from the Montserrat Messi to equalise. I said we need a response. We have got that response. Da Silva Lopez, very, very powerful in his running, very positive as well. Bursting through the middle, waiting for the perfect opportunity, playing it through there for Lyle Taylor. And he's just not going to miss from there, sticking it down into the bottom corner. Lyle Taylor, though, Piggott can try and play it in behind. It's into Lyle Taylor again with the volley. Just over the bar. What a goal that would have been from Lyle Taylor. Just unable to keep it down, unfortunately, but a fierce strike. Oh, Burton getting in behind here with Alonge. That's a great ball in for Lund. What a save from Roy Carroll. As you could tell from my tone, I was pretty much dejected in the knowledge that we were going to concede there. But Roy Carroll has done well. Another ball in. Burton really going for the aerial threat at the moment. Dyer with the shot. Plucked out of the air spectacularly. Trotter back into Visser with the first time shot, saved by Bywater. Lorenzo Visser's getting about. You do not know he's 16, man. This guy is very confident. I've got to say, for all the games where Da Silva Lopez is sometimes just a tiny bit quiet going forward, he really puts a shift in going back. Again, there winning the ball back. Might be the reason why his fatigue is so bad. Bolger comes off. Relatively decent debut for him. Did a job. Didn't look out of his depth by any means, which is a compliment given he's playing against the champion side. Oh, that's through now to Dyer again. This is danger here from Burton, and what a clinical finish. And once he'd used his pace to burst through, Oshalaja just didn't see it running. He sort of committed. Parrott couldn't come over and sort of cover. Wonderful finish from the Burton forward. Of course, we have now got Joel Azoro off the bench to try and provide a bit more energy going forward, and we'll try and utilise that straight away here with Joel Azoro. After the pass there from Liam Trotter, it's Joel Azoro, saved wonderfully by Bywater, and the ball's ended up in orbit after the save. Parrott, though, then loses it. This is Boyce. That's now through to Palmer, and it's 3-1, and that is game, set, and match. Unfortunately, we've run out of quality right at the end of the game. It's poor from Dean Parrott, actually, there. He should have committed to the challenge. And then after that, it's just a good passing play to find the Burton attacker. Fair play as well, actually. I've got to credit Burton. Often I have a go at the AI because they're just too defensive, especially when they're in the lead. But Burton didn't give a flying donkeys about being in the lead. They just continued to attack nonetheless. Vissero's played that through here for Joel Azoro to try and get a goal back, and he should do. But Trotter hits the post. Oh my God, no. Give the win to Burton. Give the win to Burton. We don't deserve it. An open goal. It would have been nice to score that one, quite frankly. It would have been nice to get that second goal on the board, but unfortunately we lose that one then. We're out of the FA Cup. We've made our memories, though, by beating Man City last time. Would have been nice to then continue that into a bit of a cup run. Obviously, we did have that in the Carabao Cup, so we can't demand too much. So there you go. No man of the match, obviously, for us. It would obviously go to a Burton player, and it went to Palmer, so fair play to him getting the 9.3. Our best player was Da Silva Lopez, 9.1 from him. He was very good, and going back, as I mentioned, in commentary, defensive-wise, he was very good too. Lyle Taylor with an 8.6. A 7.7 for Trotter, and I'm not going to say this just because of his miss. His miss was bad, but we've had some bad misses for other players in this series. But I think that performance probably summed up why Trotter isn't an automatic starter anymore. Like, Andre Dozzell has sort of taken on that number 10 role and really bossed it and made it his own. So here is how the table is shaping up then after today's episode. And it's been a pretty decent shake-up, actually. We've got a game in hand at the moment. We'll be playing that against Bradford at the start of the next episode. That was caused by the fact we've obviously reached a further point, of the FA Cup in terms of that competition. But if we win that game against Bradford, we're actually only 3 points off Blackburn, which is astonishing given 2 episodes ago we were actually 12 points away from them. And looking at the Hall of Fame, a couple of things have actually changed in this episode, so feel free to check them out. And once again, if you've got anything you want to add to it, then drop it down in the comment section below. But our good run of form, I believe, if I'm not wrong in saying, has meant we've now got a higher win in a row record, or wins in a row record. And in the top right of the screen, you'll also see the poll now for player of the episode. There'll be quite a few contenders, but whoever you thought was the best player in today's episode in terms of performance, vote for them in the top right of the screen, and whoever wins that will play every single game of the next episode. But what a bumper-packed edition of Wimbledon Career this has been. Absolutely insane scenes, making another couple of signings, doing a lot of transfer dealings, but also playing 3 games as well, and getting quite a bit of action out of them as well. Now you'll see as well here from the office, we've got 8k left in wages. I want to try and spend maybe 5k of that, potentially, not necessarily, but potentially, on another pre-contract agreement player. So if you've got a player that's pretty cheap, that you know his contract is expiring at the end of the season, then let me know down in the comment section. But that is it from me. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Make sure to slap a like on it if you have, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. It's the big red button under the video. You can also now follow me on social media. My Twitter handle is @theofficialfng, and my Instagram is exactly the same. Links are down below to that as well. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. What an episode of Wimbledon Career this has been. Have a great day though, guys. Enjoy yourselves. And goodbye.
Yo, Massappels. I roll out with some monsters. Looks like your team and you watchers. I do not roll with imposters. Sound like the man in the Oscars. I'm drunk off Henny and Fosters. I have a career, I am jobless. This bitch f me so hard, I might just end up unconscious. I like girls in lingerie, especially if it is crotchless. Bitch, I am the bigger picture. There is no way you can crop us.